Ito,
Sir.
you head back. It's nighttime as you head back to the ship. Thoughts of... I mean, I don't want to put thoughts of what you have in your head. I imagine you're thinking about this Adelindra's fight, her wounds, her casting Searing Smite on a dagger without realizing it. That feeling of sort of that sort of pulsed through you.
Adelaide, but yes.
Adelaide, yeah, I keep saying Abigail, but it's Adelaide.
You did not. You said Adelaide. We got too
Adelindra.
many A ladies.
Got too many A's.
Amalia, Adelindra, Adelaide, Abigail.
Alakul, Aruna.
Yeah.
Christ.
When you get back to the ship, you can see Carrington is a harsh taskmaster, overseeing Lysanther, Yondar as they scrub the decks down. He doesn't have to give specifics, merely saying Carrington, and they know what it means. You pass by him, heading down into the boat lower decks. You can see it looks like Madame Vestia has turned in for the night, but you do see faint light that echoes from beneath the cracks of Lincoln and M's and even fucking Adelaide's door. I had to go through the names because I was thinking about it. As they
Bold.
did you lock the door afterward? You said you locked the door afterward.
While I was in there, I locked it because she
Yeah.
always wants it locked. So
You go to the door and it is closed, locked.
Do I hear people talking on the inside?
Full perception check.
natural 1. Natural.
It's Aruna and Adelaide giggling. Boys, am I right?
I got an 8.
You hear quiet whispers. You can't make out noises. Like no particulars.
I will then walk to my quarters. We don't even have actual quarters, do we?
Yours are up here.
That's right. Okay. So I would go to my quarters and I would just doff my armor and stuff.
Alright. Easy enough. You spend about 10 minutes taking off your armor, making sure that you're completely presentable.
Oh no, I don't give a fuck. It's messy hair, sweat stains. There's no presentation.
What would Mayora think?
That's fine. Actually, I was going to write a letter to Mayora, but I realized that Tommy has settings, so no, not never mind.
What would Dags think?
I try not to think about what Dax would think.
What would Bronwell think? Besides the fact that he has a dog.
What
I
would
miss my
Jesus
dog.
do?
Well, maybe you should go back to the Ilderoyhan sometime.
He would think,
Does the dog?
does Ito have a crossbow?
Did the dog make it to the Ilderoy?
They all made it to the Ilderoyhan.
Does Ito have a crossbow? Fuck. Blue.
Right, it's just Adelindra who's in the. That's right. Okay. I keep thinking that my 3 are there with her. Apologies.
They all went to Prost, and then they went to the Ilderoyhan.
In that case, I would I would doff my armor and I would actually pray. I think.
To which god?
Saint Cuthbert.
Right. The duty side. That's fair enough.
And because Ito is not good at praying, he doesn't know how to do it, he would probably wind up pacing. And then he would remember Reed in his meditations, and Ito would probably clumsily sit down on the floor and try and take up like a vaguely meditative seated position. And then
Are you hoping to talk to Adelaide, or are you just...
she's talking in her room. I
Yeah.
was gonna give her her
Alright.
time.
Alright, you rest and you wait.
Ito can read a room better than Connor can.
Aruna, you find that Adelaide, once she's had a drink or two, and you've talked to her, you had a couple of good persuasion checks. She doesn't let her guard down, but she does speak with you, and you find there is something of a sisterly relationship that sort of... It's not that it arises, but she's able to talk to you, and it's very familial. She doesn't tell you more about the symbol in her hand. She more but you realize that's like a process. You know, you don't come straight out to that. She talks to you about, you know, one of the things she talks about with you is about how frustrated she is about, like, you know, not getting laid, essentially, recently.
Look, man, she needs to get her rocks off.
We gotta get the girls some strange boys.
It's been at this point a month and a half, 2 months, and
I'm the same age.
she's like,
Her and I are the same age.
she's like, I mean, Lincoln.
Shut
No.
the fuck up, Rick.
I wouldn't. Henley wouldn't do it anyways. He's too awkward.
Henley looks like a fucking hobo. One's
Yeah.
a bug man, and the other's a lizard.
Hang on, let's
Okay.
be clear. Henley is a hobo.
All right.
Henley's a 19-year-old virgin hobo. What are you gonna do?
All right.
Look,
Bestie
man,
is so got her
Adelaide.
face in fucking crystal balls.
Adelaide,
the
hear me
lizard
out.
can be whatever she wants.
Shut up, Blue. Adelaide, listen. Michelle, M. Literally be anything you want.
Yeah, but that's
And as
Oh,
long as
that
you,
right.
yeah, but if you don't spill like imperial secrets to him, he doesn't really hold any leeway over you. You know.
Yeah, but wait. That's weird.
Gee, I
Why
wonder
is
what
that
material
the deal
secret you
breaker?
could get. Well, I guess
mean-
it's not really a secret that Adelaide likes to get laid.
I mean, like,
No.
have you thought about next town we go in? You may find a nice lad or lass
Like-
that wants to have.
I asked.
I got a
Good time.
I asked
you.
Reed, but he blushed and tipped his trilby.
That's a secret for you.
Fuck,
Everybody likes to get laid.
That's true.
I talked to Master Amaris. He pulled out his fake teeth and said he was going to give me a gum job.
I dislike every moment of this.
Adelaide wants to get trapped in the sheets around supper.
I talked to Venta True Cloud and he stood there silently, as if he wasn't there at all.
It's like his predecessor.
Holy shit.
Man, I can't believe she didn't go for M. I feel like that'd be the height of like weirdness
Right?
for her.
I'd be like a
Peak kinky.
shapeshifter. Let's go.
And on top of
And
that,
could fulfill all her fantasies.
I feel like Ito really wants to be an advisor to me, but I don't think I'm advisable, you know? I'm not that type of person.
He was like, I can fix her.
Oh god.
I mean, I
Well-
guess he's not wrong, but at the same time, it's just... I don't know.
Like I said, I think
He's as bad as Gen was, telling me about what's right, and what's good, and what I should be doing, and I just don't want to... I just wish that this could have happened, all this nonsense and war and troubles could have happened the next generation, you know? Or generations before.
that's entirely fair to think. Also, as I said, the advisor, I think he takes it a little too seriously. But the hindsight is, whether you might not see them as lessons, You've learned to hunt. You've shown yourself adept in battle, and now you have powers of some sort coming to light. It's like whether he means to or not, or we mean to or not, you're learning something and becoming something different instead of stagnant and stuck in a capital.
I suppose.
But I think we're very alike in that regard. I was stuck in the same place doing the same thing for who knows how many years, and every day I learned something new, good or bad.
I suppose. Well, it has been nice to talk to someone that doesn't want to shove a moral lesson down my throat.
Like I said, morality not exactly the strong suit coming from my family and decisions I've made prior.
She prefers
And-
something different shoved in her throat.
I fucking
Alright,
Yoshi
Lou.
Tar-
kill everyone.
Take your trilby hat off, you fucking weirdo.
Lou, read
But-
the room!
Read the room. For instance, we have our friend Reed, who's a goody two shoes. If I'm to be quite honest, he won't even have a drink with me. Sad. We have our half-religious friend Ito, who I think is finding God. And then we have a bug man who made a deal with a vampire. So morality's kind of gray.
What
about
else? do
Karak?
we have to
Yeah, what
do?
about Karakwa, the moral center of our party?
He doesn't know Karakwa as well, in my opinion. So like, I feel like she got into like a base vibe from him more so than actually like super hung out with him.
Okay.
You're right. Very well. I suppose I have a thing or two to think about.
Yeah, just don't think about it too long by yourself and drink yourself to death.
That would be a lot of alcohol. I don't know if there's enough on this ship to drink me to death.
I know. I think about that on the regular.
Even so, it was nice talking to you, Aruna. It's nice to talk to someone, as I said, that's not trying to shove something down my throat. Don't say it, Lou.
Okay.
Milady.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's bad.
I guess I'll go talk to. I always feel comfortable calling him anything other than Lord Sarasenio. That's his title.
I mean, just like how we don't exactly treat you as an emperor, you don't have to feel obligated to treat him as
Well, you don't treat me as an
Lord.
emperor because I allow you to.
Entirely fair. So if vent your frustration, just try to get your point across why you didn't like what he did so much as just blowing up at him or trying to beat his ass.
Alright. Well, I
Yeah,
know that he's in the
unfortunate-
other room, so send him in.
Yeah. Believe it or not, his dumbass actually needs to learn some things also.
Yeah.
I'll unlock the door and I'll go get Ida.
Like how to make love to a woman.
That's
Dang.
true.
Got him.
Got him.
Does Ito have a chastity cage too, Connor?
That depends. Is Adelindra within, distance?
Adelindra wrapped 2 rubber bands around your ball
Banana.
sack. And then when they were
We're
starting
gonna
to,
find Ida.
then when they were starting to turn purple, she would go thunk, thunk, thunk.
Great.
Oh,
That's the dream.
To check like that. And then she say, nope, not ripe yet.
no.
Flag on the play. Incomplete pass.
So this is just before I go get Ida.
No,
What exactly?
that's fouling the passer.
Oh Jesus Christ! What exactly did Adelaide not tell you, Ito, that made you fucking like invade her mind.
Multiple times.
Are
Or
you
has-
coming into the room to talk to me?
Oh, well, if that's what it comes to, I certainly would.
No, I'm asking, like, where is this
I
taking place?
I didn't know if I knew or not.
I don't think anybody knows. Nobody stopped to ask me.
Okay. I'll go where to eat it. Go where to eat. Where Ito is, duh. And I'll fucking stare him daggers. Are you still pacing around the room?
I'm trying to remember how to pray.
You could, pray more quietly. You know how Reed does the cross-legged thing and sits
Yeah,
on the
I know
floor?
how Reed does it. I don't like how Reed does it. It's quiet.
Oh my god, Beaver. Beaver.
Carolina's winning. I
Fucking
know.
Cam's back. The whole team's different.
Dude, not only that, dude. Did you see the snippet that said that Christian McCaffrey has more yards than the entire Arizona Cardinals?
Here, this is the part where
Oh,
the
nope.
Jesus takes
Guys,
off
we're
his
not- we're
mask and it's Ron Rivera.
The whole fucking team is different.
Jesus Christ.
Cody, I heard that for the record.
Alright.
Thank you.
We'll get through this eventually.
Aruna and Ito.
Yes, I will look at Ito after we have this praying exchange. Ito, I don't know what circumstance it was, but friendly reminder for me, we don't probe people's minds that we like and care about and try to get along with. If you can't understand her or make friends with her or get her to talk to you normally, you're just invading her privacy and gonna make her never understand us or anything going on. Trust me.
Is that it?
That's just a harmful way of doing it. But yes, her lordship, her holy emperorness, would like to see you in her prayers. Yeah. I'll go fuck off somewhere. I'll go hang out with M probably while he's doing this.
M
Hey, Em, I remembered you were a shapeshifter. Let's make something happen.
Well,
M's in the dining hall. You actually find him. He's tried to make a rough. It looks like a tower out of carrots. As he says, Have you ever played a game of Dragon Bones, dear girl?
with carrots.
I'm afraid I don't have an official Dragon Bones system or tower in place, but
yeah.
all the carrots we have on board, I thought perhaps we could play a game.
Is it fucking
Anyone.
Jenga?
It's Jenga.
Yeah.
Sick.
If he gets
Oh, yeah.
That's
if
good shit.
if he gets me pieces of wood, I will fabricate him a set.
He
For
lifts
his
up. He
dragon
lifts up
thing?
one of the benches. Says, "Won't this do?"
I mean, Nipsey will kill us, but that might be more fun.
Well, I could start ripping up planks from the deck.
Please
I give
don't
him a
put holes in our ship.
mischievous hee-hee, and actually I will agree to steal some wood from the ship somewhere to make a Jenga set.
Alright, well, it's not Jenga, it's Dragon Bones.
Dragon Bones. I will yeah, we'll steal some wood from somewhere and make a Dragon Bones set.
Dragon Bones.
Copyright infringement avoiding Jenga.
Dragon Bones
Yeah,
is
sorry.
a game that involves sleight of hand checks that with increasing dexterity or increasing difficulty. So,
Cool. Well, I'll let Ito go talk to Adelaide while I probably stuck acid that game with him.
right, he says, he excited says, I get to pull the first carrot. As he reaches down to pull one of the carrots from the towers. I'm gonna see how he rolls.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I'd say he's
He
probably pretty
yanks
good.
one out, says, he takes the carrot and says, he flips it around in his fingers, twirling it and puts it on top, says, your turn. But that is what you're doing in the meantime. Ito, you head across the doorway. At this point, Adelaide has unlocked the door. It sits slightly ajar.
I will knock.
You may enter.
And I will enter, I guess.
Don't you appreciate you probing my mind? This time she's a little bit calmer than whenever the first time she said it earlier, where she was angry about it.
Visibly upset.
If you have something you want to ask it first. If you want to know how I feel, ask me how I feel.
How's your shoulder?
It is healing. I'm not going to die from it.
That's good. That would be a problem that I don't think any of us need right now.
Or perhaps it would be for the best. Who knows with this place?
I don't think so. As difficult as you may be finding the stagnation of your rule up to this point, and as upset as you may be that this had to happen during your generation, I feel like the untold chaos that would be your absence would be far worse.
I suppose. And I suppose since my uncle is not around to take the throne he so desperately wanted, it would cause quite a bit of problems. So I will endeavor to stay alive for the moment at least.
Probably one. Also, unfortunately, these days, people who die tend to have a really bad habit of not staying dead for very long.
I just wanted you to know that you don't need to probe my mind.
I did, actually.
You did what? Probe her mind? She knows that.
No, I said I did mean to, and I did need to.
Well, I didn't know that. I had hoped that you would have known that in the first place.
If any one of my party were to suddenly and inexplicably suddenly exhibit talents or abilities or magic that they've never shown any aptitude towards in the past, it is my job to figure out what the hell just happened. If I had given you a warning, it may not have taken place. If you had reacted in any kind of differently, I would have killed you on the spot, because that means you are not you. And we have a very bad track record these days of running into people who are not exactly as they seem.
Roll an insight check for me.
Sure.
She almost seems to bristle at you mentioning unknown abilities and skills and things like that, as she says, "What abilities and skills? What do you know that I don't know?" But at the same time, with that insight check, you can see her voice is shaking pretty heavily. It's all a pretty big front. There's a hint of fear in her voice, annoyance, and surprisingly just the faintest hint of almost self-assuredness and satisfaction. A little bit of sadness too. Oh my god, did Connor leave?
No, I'm here. I'm reading my character sheet. I would cast Prestidigitation, and I would make an image of an illusory image in my hand of the effect I saw on the dagger. Or if I can pick up, I'm assuming Ito has a dagger on him, if I could pull out a dagger and make the searing flame effect visualized.
I don't know what it is.
I don't either, and I assumed you didn't either, so I probed your mind.
Hey.
Felt something, I don't know, it just came through me, and
When did correct Connor's stupid brain? When did it happen? Was it after she took the heavy hit?
I can't remember exactly. It was during the fight, though.
Yeah,
All I
she
know
was
is
when
it was
she was
during the fight. It
surrounded.
was most importantly that she was surrounded.
Okay.
But she says, she holds out the symbol on her hand. I know that you know the history of my family. Everyone does. Blessings of the Forge.
Mm-hmm.
The god Lothmater, he sends them to our family in times of trial. That's how iron and steel were discovered, and now I don't know. I don't know. Was this something he sent to me? Maybe? I'm not even religious. I don't even buy into that. It's silly.
I don't either, for the most part. Ito doesn't.
But whenever I held the dagger and I was desperate and...
Dick, don't look at me like that. Ito doesn't.
It happened. Don't know why, but it's warm and it felt right, and...
So, again, I would like to repeat myself. The reason I probed your mind was because that was a sudden and unexpected thing that we've never seen before. So I didn't know if you were really you. Frankly, I didn't care what was in your brain, because once you reacted, I was pretty certain you were you. So, thank you for at least being, consistently on brand.
I don't want it.
It seems that most people are often given things that they don't want. Let me tell you, when I went for a walk in some small village that you probably don't even know the name of, I was not expecting to meet half the people aboard the ship, let alone get accosted by a bunch of shambling corpses. And yet here we are.
Suppose.
It's not people don't always get what they want, but you can always choose what you want to do with the things that you are given. It is that choice that makes you a emperor, or a leader, or a mother, or a daughter, or a servant, or a cook,
Or
or a
mime.
soldier, or mime.
She starts doing mime work. It's always been my dream.
Or a digit.
She starts pulling
or
a rope.
I smite her.
She starts pulling an invisible rope.
Well, you try to smite her, but you'd hit the invisible wall she just erected.
No! Can you do it again? And I will pull out the Ashen Inquisitor and I will hand it to her. Oh, actually, that's a point I've been meaning to ask. If I let go of the Ashen Inquisitor, does it go back to dormant, or does it keep its shape?
She's not attuned to it, so it does not work.
Okay. Then I will put it back, because that's a bad example, and I will pull it a dagger, or a knife of some kind. Something. There's something in this room.
Alright.
So can you do it again?
She takes it and she's going to concentrate on it. Her brow furrowed, and you can see it does start to heat up. As you can see, it starts to glow. Not as hot as it was, but it does start to glow.
Can I cast a spell?
Yeah.
Can I cast the Coming of Age iteration of Ceremony?
Sure. What's that? What's that one?
I touch one humanoid who is a young adult for the next 24 hours. Whenever the target makes an ability check, you can roll a d4 and the number rolled to the ability
Sure,
check.
sure. Flavor-wise, it works. I'm not even gonna make you use this 25 gold worth of silver.
I'll put it on my tab.
She's taken her first step, and perhaps you realize in your heart of hearts what she's meant to be. She's got a family history of it. As she sort of clutches the dagger in her hands, it doesn't turn nearly as hot as it did. It just burns a dull orangish glow, but she is able to heat it up with searing smite.
Do you know every individual of your family line? All of them.
Of course I do. We're forced to remember it from a young age. Name the entire family's history. I used to repeat it over and over again.
Right, but do you know it?
What do you mean, know it?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty well versed in my own family history, but I could tell you a few key proponents, but nothing as monumental as the entire tree.
I know it. And at this point, she sort of says, you can see, as soon as she says, I know it, there's almost like a release. A relief. I know my family's history.
Well, if I may, your family's history is bullshit. They're dead, gone, deceased. Some of them treacherous, and they don't really matter. Because they're not here. You can do what you need to do, what you want to do. If you want to go back to your diplomatic whores and your drinking to the point where you can hardly remember what room of the castle you're in, ignoring your yes man advisors, and going through the day doing absolutely fucking nothing with the power that you have, that is up to you, and you will be remembered forever as a blip or a period of the end of your family line. And that is your decision. But I would argue that that would even be preferable to a leader who spends so long not knowing what to do, or even worse, knowing what to do but not choosing anything, not making a decision, and ultimately doing nothing anyway. I don't want to be your advisor. The people back in your capital wanted to be your advisors because they had life easy. I don't want to be here. I want to go onto the beach, and I want to see my wife. I want to see my sister. I don't want to be here. I want to... I want to enjoy my life, but I don't get the opportunity to, and that's okay. What do you want to do? Not today, but tomorrow. What do you want to do?
This might be the most important roll that I've made in a while.
Can't use the port
Can't
dice.
use the 18.
Oh,
Can I guidance her if I don't know what she's doing?
Nope, it's just me making a straight D20 roll. Guess what she rolled?
1.
18.
Yep.
Literally
Hey.
sitting on top of me.
Hey! We did it, guys!
I was giving it a 50-50 shot how she dealt with this.
18's the bad.
She's silent for a while. And you know, despite the fact that the silent permeates the room, you know not to interrupt her. You almost know not to move. As she thinks. She clutches, you can see her hands wrap around the holy symbol in her hand so tightly you're afraid that she's going to draw blood, as if she has an internal debate with herself. She's capricious and she's young and she likes to have fun and she likes to drink, but she's beholden to her family's lineage, and despite the all the protestations over the fact that she doesn't really care about the common man, there's always been that hint there that she does. She wants to be a good leader, and she's never really been sure how to do that. And now she's been given the chance to really learn it, and not only that, to really act on it. She started manifesting surprisingly effective powers already. I mean, Searing Smite for the average person is not something that's easy to cast. And she nods her head and she says, "You're right. I don't know how to be a good leader, but I think I want to be one. I want to be able to fight for my people, but I don't know how to do it. I want to see them fed and maintained. For a long time, I thought it was just fine to let my advisors do it, that it was their job. Maybe you're right. If I want something done, I can't just rely on someone else to do it. Can't just brush it off and brush it aside. This is a time of trial. And when my family has been called to trial, we have answered. We have answered that trial with anything that was required.
But
Whether it was Hedwig when he received the first blessing of the Forge, or Magnus whenever he looked into the red eye, Magden whenever he looked into the red eye, it's always fallen upon my family to do their duty. We have never shirked it.
But on that note, the unpleasantness of reality is that ultimately your family's been in power for quite some time, and by definition, we're in the situation we are in now as a result of what they did. Do not go into this endeavor of choosing to be a good leader for your people because it's what your family would do. Do it because you actually want to. If you don't, you're just your family. You're not you.
I don't suppose you know anything about Lothmater, do you?
Given that Ito does not keep the Stalreich gods, I would assume he knows of Lothmater, but not in any kind of devotion.
Then
My island keeps smaller gods.
perhaps I shall have to learn of it on my own. Ito, I think this is the part where we come to a decision. Is she a paladin or is she a cleric of the Forge?
Fuck.
What's the paladin?
You can see she
Shut
stands.
up! This is an Ito decision. Fuck all of you.
She stands there now, sort of torn. I hate to hold this weirdly symbolic scene. She has on one side the symbol of Lothmater slaying on her bed. On the other side, the weapons that you've seen her wielding, a short bow with the arrows stacked on them, as she sits between the two of them, now at a crossroads. Does she become a cleric of the Forge, or does she become a paladin?
Paladin of what though?
The paladin is less important. There's an actual specific cleric subclass that she would go into. If she is a paladin, she becomes an Oath of the Crown paladin.
The Astral Visage Monk.
Just to make sure I'm understanding the symbolism here, it would be
The weapons are the paladin.
Sure, no, I understand. The choosing to go with herself would be Oath of the Crown.
Choosing to go with herself. Choosing to go with herself right now would be a cleric of the Forge.
Okay.
I'll let you think about it.
Yeah, can you? I might actually have to just talk to you one-on-one about that later.
The path she chooses will either lead her down one that is more religious, or one that's more militant. But let's see. Did anybody else want to do anything? I kind of want to get to go ahead and get to Reed's Ascension, since it's almost 8. It will take a little while for him to fight Master Amaris.
You should probably get that done first, then. Honestly.
Well,
Or we
it's, just,
could open
it's
it.
not happening until the next day, so.
If there's anybody else if there's anything that anybody else needs to, like, if there's anything that anybody else wants to do,
I mean,
we can-
I was in the middle of things, but it's not as important as like all the other shit.
yeah.
Mine
You want to go
would
talk
be,
to Lincoln?
Mine, Colin, would be just something I would ask an NPC that I'll just tell you about later.
All right.
So it's not
Clark,
vitally
will you
important.
pass by the closed door of Adelaide and find yourself standing in front of Lincoln's quarters? You haven't been here very often. Most of the time when you've passed by it, you've mostly noticed a strange floral smell. You know he's a poisoner. You know he is a rogue, and you also know he can be quite friendly. Whenever you go to the door, he actually opens it before you even knock. A surprised look on his face as he looks around and says, "How can I help you?"
Lincoln,
Well, that's what they call me.
I
know he's hot.
I come to you
From far
asking
away,
to
that's
be
what your
free.
voice sounds like. You're coming at me from far away, like you're from a distant dimension.
Sorry. Can you see me now?
Cody,
That's
I need you to
actual-
say- I need
that's
you to say
actual
it puts
Lincoln
lotions
POV.
on the skin.
That's actually point of view since he's a
Yeah,
he's
it's
a
Lincoln
halfling.
POV.
Yeah, I got
need
you.
you- It puts the lotion on its skin.
You don't have to look down on me like that. Jeez.
Apologies.
I don't reckon I've talked to you very much. It was Karakwa, right? But like I said, my services are always here to help out anyone on this airship. Is what I've been contracted out to do.
I was hoping you could assist me with some people who are poisoned down at the monastery.
Well, yeah, I suppose I could. I got all sorts of antitoxins and herbs that can cure things like that. I mean, they're part of my personal storage, but I mean, I could be persuaded to help them for the right price.
Is it monetary cost?
You can roll a persuasion check.
You're gonna have to roll it for me.
I can roll it for you. I've got your character sheet. Because I am the master and you are the babby.
Shoot.
Wow, a 17.
Get fucked.
Well, I mean, I suppose I could be persuaded to help him out, but,
Tell you what, Lincoln. I am a practicing alchemist. I'd be more than happy to help you in your... I look around his room. Lab. Whenever you need be, you can help out these people down here for me.
I mostly am just looking for, like, a meal that's not, like, cooked in a 4-foot by 4-foot room. Like, how's their food?
I'll be honest. I prefer the food up here.
Well, that is dire indeed.
Indeed. Even I was a little appalled. But a meal is a meal. At any place. I would never dare turn one down.
And you say they're hurting pretty bad.
I cured the wounds of those who are hurt, but they have poison from a... Shit, what flower did you say it was? A hemlock plant.
God damn my fucking good nature. Yeah, I'll help them.
Thank you. It is appreciated. And do know, I am more than willing to help you out in here. So,
Well,
if only for my own selfish reasons.
Well then, take a step on in, because we might have to make a couple more antitoxins.
Very well. I'll go in and start helping him out making those.
Alright. Let me roll a d20 for you. I know that you're proficient in alchemy's tools, and... Good roll from you.
What did I roll?
It's a 15 plus proficiency.
That's like an 18.
Yeah.
19.
Pretty good. You're able to...
Okay.
The two of you... You can see Lincoln's room is... He's walking around. You can see his... He has, like... His rooms are kind of strewn with various herbs. Most of them dried and taken into satchels. Some of them hang from the walls, drying out. There has a very pungent, incensey kind of aroma. It is almost... If in a lesser amount, it would be very relaxing, but the amount of sort of incense and herby smell in the air is almost sickening. It almost gives you a headache. It has all sorts of little bundles of drying herbs just hanging around the walls. On the floor, you can see, it looks like Lincoln has taken off his boots, as they sort of, you can see they're like thigh-high black boots, and he actually tells you to be careful as you get close to him. As he motions towards the tip of the boot, and says, "You don't want to get stuck by the tip of that boot, trust me." As you have to kind of step around them, to get to his alchemist table and his herbs. And between the two of you, you do manage to make enough antitoxin, to treat everybody, all those 3 victims, as well as a couple more in case they arise. With your, good alchemy check. That is, but that is what you do. During that time, Lincoln is able to sort of talk to you. Yeah, Lincoln's not a very friendly fellow. He's not like M, where he's always asking you questions. He works in, like, dead silence, doing little more than asking you to pass things to him.
That is more than acceptable for Karakwa.
He doesn't really seem interested in learning about your life story for the most part.
He'll warm up. They always do.
Yeah, after you set them on fire with the fireball that you don't have until you get this fucking staff that you eventually get to. At the end of the day, you have 5 little vials of antitoxin. That's 50 gold pieces worth of antitoxin, so...
Not bad.
Sell it.
You head back to the monastery, antitoxins in hand. It's been a couple of hours. It's late night now. The moon has risen high into the sky, and the air has an unusual and unpleasant chill. Despite the fact that you're, like I said, it's still in the heart of summer.
Tighten up my robe as I walk.
Alright. You can see that now most of the lights in the barracks have been doused. It's now almost complete blackness, save for a single candle at the far end where Umara sits, her head sort of falling down, resting on her chest as she sort of is slowly dazing. 3 monks that were poisoned and grievously wounded next to her. You can see their eyes are closed as well as they slumber, but it's a fitful slumber. They sort of toss and they turn, the poison still racking their body as you come to them.
Shut up. I go to her.
Bryce snap awake as she, you don't even get a chance to you maybe get within 10 feet of her. Her head shoots up. She looks almost ready to defend herself, her eyes darting around, her mind no doubt lost in the attack that happened earlier in the night.
Both hands up like this. I brought the anti-venoms. And I reach into my robe's sleeves and pull out 3 small vials. Here, have them drink this.
Right, of course. She quickly grabs the vials, and she goes to one and shakes him awake, and she says, "Medicine, here. This will help you. This will help you sleep." And she, very comforting, almost matronly, like, lifts their head up into her arms, and she sort of pushes the vial to their lips, and the liquid sort of pours down into their mouth. They take a deep swallow, and then you wait a moment to pause, and after a moment, maybe a minute, they sort of sigh, and their eyes sort of slowly close, and they fall into a peaceful slumber, no longer racked by pain, no longer tossing and turning. You can see this slight discoloration around the wound disappears, leaving little more than maybe a sort of a rough scarred area where it was quickly knitted closed. But the poison is gone. She hands you one vial and motions for you to give it to the other one as she moves to the other one.
Oh, okay. I thought she did all 3. I'll do the same for this one over here. I hope he isn't too shocked to see him.
Alright.
Me overheld. Drink this! It'll make you feel better!
He spits it out and says, "I hate Lizard Man. I'd rather die than take the vial from you."
Then suffer, huh?
He dies right there and says, "I was wrong," and dies.
Cody, why didn't you put it in your mouth and, like, drip it into his?
And I love him embrace.
You administer the potion, and
I bet he
seeing
does.
the same effects, looking over to her as she does the same. Both of the troubled and poisoned monks breathe a sigh of relief. Their eyes close as they fall into a restful slumber instead of a fitful one. He comes to you and says, "You have my thanks. There's little I could do here at their side. You helped."
I hope to change that. God damn, what's the word? I tend on. I don't tend. God damn, I'm drawing a fucking mind fart.
Welcome to my
intend-
life.
I intend to show you how the anti-venom was made.
I would welcome that. I'm not familiar with the herbs of this region, I'm afraid.
Being as it is, I will give her a simple rundown of the procedure, what kind of plants to look for, and I have those two extra vials. I give her as her example vials of what they should look like when it's done, and they should work against more than just hemlock, but anything stronger than that is no guarantee, but again, better than nothing.
I thank you and feel I should owe you something
You do
more
not.
than just my thanks.
You do not. It is what I do. I help those who are in need. Those who cannot help themselves, or those who need some extra help with it.
Well,
Ooh, Rocky's done.
even so, my people are not unknown to potions. Even if we weren't familiar with the herbs and potions of this region. She sort of reaches in her, inside her robes and pulls out like a sort of blue, effervescent potion, that she hands to you, and she says, "Even so, take this. I hope that it will help you as you have helped these others." And take it with my thanks.
I asked her, what is it?
I can't hear you, Cody.
So, what is it?
It is a potion of heroism.
Oh my!
For 1 hour after you drink this potion, you gain 10 temporary hit points and the bless spell with no concentration required.
Oh my god, that's pretty cool.
It's a real good potion.
That is, for real. I thank you.
She nods her head. If you'll excuse me, now that people are out of danger, I have to rest.
A well-deserved rest.
Very well, excuse me. And she is going to, she goes back to her chair, but now she like grabs a pillow, sets it up under, on the back so she's able to rest comfortably. And she dozes off quite quickly, having expended her, basically all of her key healing people and exhausted herself. You yourself are also feeling incredibly tired, Karakwa. I imagine most people are.
Day.
By this point, it's been a long day. You've, learned some things. You've got some maps. You've talked to Adelaide. Found out some stuff. And you've learned that she's kind of... she is looking... At the end of the day, the whole point of having Adelaide along was to give her direction. So, unfortunately, Ito's the one trying to give her direction, and she sort of grapples with this idea that when in times of trial, the god Lothmater has gone to her family and blessed them. And she's sort of coming to terms with the fact that this unusual blessing means that she is in a time of trial, and it's really hitting her that, this might not be something she's going to be able to get out of. What are you doing, Cody?
I finished cooking. It's all done.
Alright, Cody, I need you to drive down here and give me food.
Drive up here and get some.
Alright, I'll be there in a couple days.
I'm serious. If you want some, come get some.
Nah, I had too much to drink. But...
Cody, go pick up Colin.
Ito or Connor, it's something to think about because at the end of the day, you're the one that wanted to be an advisor. You're the one that's setting her on a path.
I would just like I would like to talk to you about that one-on-one.
I think, however, I would like to end with, this is Reed's monastery, and Reed has been tasked with becoming a master of this monk, to actually ascend, not from
Can
a
you just hand wave
initiate.
that?
No.
Wow.
To actually rise to the level of master. To stand in the ring with Grand Master Amaris, as so many have done before him, unarmored, unarmed with magical weapons. Like I said, there are weapons along the wall that you can choose from. So you can choose a basic weapon like a longsword or anything like that.
Get the kunai with chain.
Kunai with chain is a magic weapon. It is
Be a man.
it is a
Face him
non-standard
with
weapon.
only your dukes.
You can face him unarmed. Grandmaster Amaris, however, we'll get to that. Reed, bright and early, I'm not even gonna leave this to Reed. Master Fenris comes to each of you and tells you that in the morning, young initiate Reed Underbow will undergo his trial of mastery. People are invited to attend. They are not at all banned in any way, shape, or form. In fact, Master Fenris encourages you to come and give your aid to Reed, but also insists that your interference would be unwelcome should you wish to do so magically or by other means.
Ito is staying with Adelaide.
Yeah, it says he asks if we want to help Reed in whatever way we want.
Well, no, he asks if you want to go watch Reed.
We can
come there for moral
support.
You can be there for moral support, but you can't offer him help, like by magic means, by any other means.
Is it the next day or the night
It
before?
is the next day.
To help him.
Cody, no one could hear you because you were talking at the same time as.
Can I cast a 7th level Flame Strike on Reed to help him with his dodging game right before he fights?
I feel like that would probably
If
be
you can
a
dodge
bad
a 7th
idea.
level flame strike, you can dodge a ball.
You set the whole monastery on fire.
So I
Oh no,
assume
not again.
I assume Ito and Adelaide are staying together. So
am
I don't want to
staying with
bother.
Adelaide, yep.
I don't want to bother
Pure
her.
shit, I dodge your fireball.
Anyway, I don't want to bother her anymore, but I will ask M if he wants to come and we'll hang out.
Im says,
Unless he's like really worried about the monks figuring him out.
Im says, you know what? If Grandmaster Amaris hasn't killed me, I don't imagine these other monks will kill me, right?
I mean, probably not.
Long con.
Wait a second, why are you being so nice to me, Aruna?
You're more enjoyable than Ito.
I mean, who isn't? That doesn't tell me
Yeah.
the actual answer.
Well, I mean, probably at some point your skill set's gonna be useful, so no beating around the bush.
At
but
some
also,
point, let's be real, at all points. Come on, look at me.
you're not wrong.
I'm Im.
Well, I don't know, not a whole bunch of people on the ship necessarily like to do fun things, and you seem like you
God, I
enjoy
know,
fun.
it's so true. Half of them don't even want to drink. Madame Vestia is such a prude.
Damn, I didn't know that about her.
I will go watch them though, Colin.
Alright. Probably a nice idea. Go give your friend their support.
Yeah.
I imagine Bruce is there as well. Brock, where you going?
Yeah, of course I'm gonna show up to that.
Oh yeah.
Cloaca's out for our boy Reed.
Alec Cole,
Except
Reed's
outside,
dead.
check up-
Reed is
Jesus.
dead.
if you want to
I'm
go
going.
there, you can. You've got your maps. You can ask Grandmaster Amaris afterwards, but
Yep.
Hey, dogs.
like I said, if you tried to ask him the night before, he was in meditation for basically today's trial against Reed.
Gotcha.
So you would not be able to talk to him.
That's okay. While he was resting up, Reed studied the blade.
Master Fenris is at the side of the chair that basically Grandmaster Mare sits in. I'm going to go pee real fast, and then you know what, Reed? You're going to ascend to becoming a master of your order. As the shout of joy and cheers rises up to you, Reed, after having successfully earned your masterhood within this monastery, we'll end it here with a little bit to think about, honestly. Which direction you want to go in, exactly? What is Ito going to say to Adelaide as she tries to decide whether she's going to go towards the more militant weaponry path or perhaps the more religious path?
She's gonna multi-class.
Oh my gosh, she's hella cool.
Zalical, choosing between an oath of the crown to her order and to her people and to the crown, or a more religious path. An oath, choosing to be a cleric of the Forge, worshipping Loth Mater, who has blessed her family, even blessed her during that fight when she received that sort of searing smite, despite the fact that she didn't know how to do it. Whatever the case, think about it. We'll have to figure out next week what that path is going to be for each and every one of you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.